Hey there, my name is Jake Bittner. Tonight for ARC-531 Project 1, going to be discussing the map of Tenochtitlan and the Gulf of Mexico from Cortez's second letter. So in 1519, Cortez would have landed on the coast of Mexico, and over the course of 2 years would have made his way inland, finally arriving at Tenochtitlan in 1521, which at the time was the height of the um, Aztec Empire. And arriving there, he would have found this city, massive city, with 200,000 inhabitants in the middle of a lake, all man-made, and the technology and wonder and the size of it all would have been just totally blown him away. And so through that, he had local artisans prepare a map of the area, and they would have been indigenous map makers, artists, scholars, and he would have prepared this map and sent it um, back home to the king to show off all that he had done. Now the map we're looking at here is about 9 inches by 12 inches, so relatively small. Many copies of this appear in books, some black and white, some colored. Uh, and the map has a lot of intriguing details once you start to get into it. Uh, One of the first things you'll notice when you start to review it is the fact that north is down and south is up. Uh, Hard to know if that was intentional by the map maker or if they just went with that because of the orientation of the temples in the middle of the drawing. Also interesting is this element over here is the entire Gulf of Mexico. And it includes down here, this is a scale telling you the distances between things. And it's unlikely that Montezuma, the uh, head of the Aztec Empire, would have had this map. They probably wouldn't have mapped this whole thing. And so they believe that Cortez would have encountered another explorer named Alfonso Pineda, sorry, and there's a good chance that this map here is actually a version of Pineda's map, and it's hard to know if that would have been made by Cortez or his people, or just sent along with the sheaf of stuff, and then appeared in the documents by the printer in Nuremberg. So another sort of curious element about this map is uh, if you orient everything north the way it belongs, so this map is on the left has been rotated, you can see here that the diagram has this sort of telltale sign of this incredible aqueduct that would have come from Chapultepec into the city and fed this entire body of water. And it shows this levee up here. And this levee was actually this 17-kilometer long construction that they would have built. And it served a number of functions, but one of the sort of big advancement is it allowed this whole portion of the lake to become fresh water, where originally this big Lake Texcoco would have been a brackish body of water, and so they used this levee to control and manage water uh, around the city to flush out, keep it fresh and clean, and manage aquatic culture and all kinds of important stuff for their society. And so this levee is interesting because it's shown over here running north-south versus on the map sent to Nuremberg, it's depicted running east-west, which it most certainly would not have been. So another advancement in this sort of detail interesting to review is on the right here you can see the sort of a common map that they would have been maybe not common, but a map style they would have been doing in Europe at the time, This is a map of Venice, and it shows incredible detail. And it also has sort of around the border these pivotal either myths for the most part, and storytelling and incredible detail, uh, versus the map from Cortez. They probably captured some of the indigenous style that was likely a part of this original map, adapted it a little bit, but still maintained a lot of the primitive uh, iconography. And we don't know if that was intentional or not, but then you can also see that the sort of citadels of the surrounding villages were captured in this really European style, which most certainly the architecture of the Aztecs was not. When you look into the details that were included in the map, uh, this was a fantastic city beyond what the men could have ever imagined. And you'll see sort of in the middle of the city in the square were these massive temples where sacrifices were carried out frequently, so frequently it sort of horrified these uh, really violent Spanish uh, sort of conquerors. Um, and so it's depicted here, but probably not in the style that would impress somebody back in Europe looking at this document. It includes sort of a reference to Montezuma kept zoos and wild animals. He had these incredible palaces, a botanical garden, aquariums, all these amazing things that, even though they would have been included in the map that was sent, not necessarily expressed in the map that would have been printed and distributed to uh, to share around the world. And so, what all in all, what becomes interesting about this map is, the representation of it becomes kind of a hybrid of a brochure to show off both to the king what he had achieved, what is sort of this new part of his empire, as well as communicate to the people who is being shared with, printed and distributed, this sort of symbol of what was happening on this other side of the world, which they would never get to see for themselves. So that's what we see here tonight. So thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing some of the other videos.